Good morning. I'm Mindy Bonine with Amatera, and we are here to show you a little short video of our flotation machine. This is one of the sort of analysis processes that we do after we finish our excavation. As you may remember, in some of our excavation videos, we would take dirt samples and put them in a little yellow bag, very much like this bag, and we're going to show you now what happens to this after we get it back to the lab. And what we do is we put it through this flotation machine, and I have Jessica and Jennifer here to sort of help explain how the machine works, and I will be assisting with explaining what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. So let's go ahead and get started. So Jessica, do you want to go ahead? Yep.
So what we do initially is that we take our dirt sample and we pour it into these buckets that we have graduated, and they're all done by liters. And this is, of course, this is before we put the water in, so we find out how many liters of dirt they managed to pull out, and we put it on a spreadsheet for data entry later, and we have everything recorded, and then we put tags with everything. And what we like to do with dirt samples, especially from here in Texas, is soak them because it makes it easier for the machine to break down everything. So normally it'd be this, but now we like turning it into mud, and it'll go by a lot faster. And then what we'll do is once this one's ready to go, is we'll come over to the machine here and then we'll pour it in. And then what ends up happening is that the machine has an air pump here that creates bubbles. So the bubblers then disintegrate all the silt and the mud and everything, and then it'll cause very light pieces of what we call fractions, which is like botanical material like this, to rise up to the top, and then it'll come in here, or it'll float up here and we'll have to sieve it out. And then all the heavy stuff like dirt-filled shells, flakes, burnt rock, that all stays in the bottom. And then what we do is we turn off the machine, lift this onto a work table, and then force it all into here, and we separate them into packs. And then later on we'll decant them, weigh them, and then pick through them if we need to. All right.
So, and then just a little hint, at the bottom of this container is a screen. It's like the size of a window screen. So anything that fits through here is all stuff that gets, sort of that's basically the dirt that gets filtered through this. Everything that's not this size, it's bigger than this size, or it floats, gets collected by the machine. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go through a demonstration. So why don't you go ahead and get started with the turn on the machine. Here we go. And it's a messy job.
As you can see, there's already stuff in here, so I'll...
So, yeah, there's little tiny sort of things that float, shells, little pieces of roots.
Like shells right here.
Yep, exactly. That we pull out, that's floating.
And then here's C14, sometimes we find that here as well.
Tiny little bit, yeah. So the things that float end up here, and the things that sink end up here. I'm going to get out of there.
It's a very wet job.
This is a wet job. And as you can see, our sieve isn't a standard sieve that you drain pasta in. It actually has several layers to it. It is extremely fine mesh. So we try to grab every little piece that we can out of that dirt. And you can see the water is now sort of, the water's raised up. So all the light fraction, the stuff that floats, kind of gets pushed down into this section through the machine, and we basically just constantly churn the dirt until all the dirt clods have been dissipated, and all that's left is just the bigger pieces of material that we want to collect. Let's tag out the way. And what we do, the reason why we do all of this is to be able to sort of obtain sort of macro-botanical and micro-botanical samples, which basically just sort of organic material that we normally don't get a chance to see in our excavation screens because our excavation screens are 1/4 inch big. We are actually sifting out material that's smaller than that to find out sort of micro-debitage, botanical samples, carbon samples that are too small that would normally pass through our 1/4 inch screen that we usually excavate with. And we take all this material and we send it off to the specialists who are experts in analyzing organic samples, seeds, roots, and other materials, shell, to identify what it is, and we can find out a little bit about the climate of the time period that we're excavating in.
We're good to go.
Based off of the types of animals and plants that are occupying that.
Spray that.
Oh, not done yet.
Not done yet. Almost there.
Okay, okay. So should I get out of the way now?
Yeah.
Okay, so our light fraction is done. We're just trying to get the remaining tiny little, sort of everything collected into a bit so we can, this is chiffon, which is very, very fine mesh, and we get it at the fabric store. And that's what we use to hold and collect all of our material.
Alright, I'll go and turn it off. Right. You can see all the stuff that got pushed through.
So inside that gunk is tiny little pieces that we can look under, tiny little things that we can look under the microscope and get a good sense as to what types of grasses were there, what types of plants.
You can also find seeds there as well.
Seeds and pods and all sorts of stuff. And we're not necessarily looking to find out about the sort of cultural practices by getting this stuff. We're really looking for paleo-environmental data. We're trying to find about the environmental circumstances that these people were living in.
All right. Here comes the big guns.
All right, now I'm on the heavy fraction part.
All right, I'm gonna have to get where you are.
Pardon?
You're gonna want to move. You don't want to get your camera wet.
As you can see, on top of the canopy, this is a messy job, and our canopy has spilled, water spill over. Once Jessica's done washing it out, we'll get a chance to look at what's coming out of the heavy fraction. Heavy fraction, is, be a reminder, is just stuff that sinks. Stuff that's heavier than the water that it's in. And it looks like there's quite a bit in this one.
Oh, we got a plate. Yeah.
About trying to catch all the everything that was in that soil sample and try to not to leave anything behind. All right, let's take a look. So, got some burned rock. We got some really nice flakes that are coming out here, several actually. And then we got smaller stuff here, lots of shell. One of the things that comes out of here a lot is shell bits, just tiny little fragments of shell. And sometimes if we can pick through these and collect this and sort of do sort of snail shell identification. So you can see that there's the Arabdotus and I can't remember what one this one's called. This was it starts with an M. I can't remember now.
Oh.
So the little spiral-shaped ones. Yep. So I'm sure there's someone out there that knows and can yell at the camera and say, "Hey, that's a blah." So post in the comments if you know what that is.
It's a snaily thing.
It's a snaily thing. So and just some burned rock and not burned rock. So and I think that's a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and so what happens after this process is there's another really nice dark piece of chert right there.
Wait.
Woo woo woo. Go up again.
Yeah.
Good piece.
Lovely.
Lovely. Well, we're going to wrap these up and then we hang them up to drip dry.
Oh, over there.
Yep, over there. That's what it's our drip dry station.
Yep.
And
colony over there, so we don't do it over there.
After it drip dries, I'll give you a sample of what it looks like after it's dry. Here's a sample that we've done earlier. Is it okay if I unsnip this?
I can close it up later. You're good.
Okay. All right. So after it, oh look, there's a lot of burned rock in this sample. You can kind of see. So what we do after this point is we kind of let it all dry, and then we start picking things out and sorting it. So all this burned rock would get pulled into a pile. All the shell would get pulled into another pile. And then we, do the classic count and weigh and all that sort of stuff that we use to sort of help, get volumetric data. But then if we find stuff in here and I'm not seeing anything at the moment, but if we find any seeds or tiny little roots or little organic pods, we actually found some hackberry seeds when we were out at the site. So if there's a hackberry seed in here, we'll pull those out and then we can send those off to our botanical experts, and they can do the microscope analysis and do identification. And through that, we can find out a little bit more about the environment of the people at the time at the Headwaters site when they were living there, when they were occupying that area. And so that's what. And of course, we add all of this lovely data to all the excavation material that we dug out when we took the soil sample. We dug out the rest of the level, and we're going to add this information to that information as well, and have it all together. So that's it. This is our flotation device. It's one of the many tools that we use to sort of get more information out of excavations. And I hope you enjoy, and we will see you next time. Thanks very much.